This is Ease of Change from Lafayette International High School.
Hello, welcome to this episode of our podcast. And today we're going to be talking about environmental justice and also an organization called Western New York Youth Climate Council. I'm with my co-host today, Marianne, Asako, Noor, and Kimu. So, Marianne, will you please tell us about Love Canal?
Love Canal is an area located in Niagara Falls. In the 1920s to 1950s, a company was producing a harmful chemicals that was bad for the residents. And it was so bad that some of the people were getting sick, like cancer, birth defects, and other sickness like even could cause them death. Most people were not aware about what's going on around their area and didn't know that harmful tox was near them that was killing their babies and themselves. So there was this woman named LIHS. Noor, could you please tell us more about LIHS?
Lois Gibbs was a strong, brave woman who first noticed the problem in her community. She discovered that her neighborhood in New York was affected by a toxic waste dump, causing several health problems like Maria mentioned before. She went around and convincing people to come together and demand the government to take direct action onto this horrendous matter. But the people refused to do so at first because they didn't believe her. And some people, they were worried that if they ever had to admit that there was a toxic waste problem going around in their neighborhood, it is likely that they have to leave their property that they have bought it for good amount of deal. And worst of them all, their value of home would drop dramatically, which means that no one will want to buy their home after they leave. But in the end, after seeing so many signs of bad things happening around the area, they finally came into a conclusion to help solve the problem.
Ian, can you tell us about the Western New York Youth Council?
So the Western New York Youth Council is an organization that we had the opportunity of interviewing. They mostly focus on climate and weather, and their mission is to bring youth leadership to the forefront of the regions of Western New York. With the interview, we had the opportunity of interviewing a lady or a girl named Valerie, and through the interview she told us about what she learned through the organization and how she helps around the environment in Buffalo. She tells us about a major point of her life when a sense of responsibility struck up to her.
Okay, let's hear from Ms. Valerie about the environmental justice.
Her life and the comparison of the Spider-Man movie. Some community engagements of the organization offer educating people like us about environment. They do gatherings and they clean up around the streets and around the streets of Buffalo. They also plant trees, just like we did in the a few weeks ago. We went and planted trees on our field trip. Yeah, just like that. they also plant trees. They do so to preserve the beauty of nature.
Okay, let's hear from Ms. Valerie about the environmental justice.
Yeah, so I went to school in the Buffalo public school system, but I had to move slightly out of city bounds. I live near UB North now, but I would still consider myself to be a Buffalonian. I think the biggest environmental justice issue facing us right now, in terms of what's pressing, would be the proposed project on the east side with respect to building a tunnel. I don't know if you guys are familiar, maybe you are, maybe you aren't, but currently the community organization that's making the most progress on that issue is the East Side Parkways Coalition. And basically, the state wants to turn the highway into a tunnel, which is going to cost $1 billion, and it's going to cause a lot of air pollution and health issues, and that's a really bad thing. So this organization is trying to stop that project, and I think the way to get involved with that is to reach out to them directly and volunteer with them and just try to boost their content. They do have regular meetings that you could attend if you're interested in getting involved, and that's definitely something I want to do this summer because that is a huge issue that's going to impact many lives to come. And hopefully that project doesn't get built because it's genuinely dangerous. But there is definitely a chance that we can still stop that project and try to turn that highway into the parkway that it was before.
So, Asako, can you please conclude our podcast for today?
As we've seen what happened in Love Corner and how residents has to stand up and fight against us toxic in their environment, we should all do the same. Help around our community and clean up. People should also educate themselves on what happened in our environment. For example, global warming, because this is a huge problem and we should discuss and talk more of it.
Thank you for listening to our episode on environmental justice and our discussion of this planet. If you want to know more about our partake in the organization mentioned earlier, you can find their information on Facebook page, Western New York Youth Climate Council. Again, thank you for tuning in and may you enjoy the rest of your day.